I do when I close it.
All right, we're back. Believe it or not, we had a little technical difficulties. We're recording on YouTube. We talk about positive creative thoughts in our book this morning. Positive creative thoughts. And someday, some way, we are going to make this work for technology in our office. Okay, so this week we're talking about market reports, market updates. We had a fairly good week in the office, and sometimes this slide doesn't accurately present exactly what happened. I'm going to read the numbers out loud because we are recording this. Farmer Don, one closing, which was Sharice's house for sure. Super cool, super awesome. Congratulations on that. Really, really cool. Larry the Wizard had 2 new pendings this week. He's adding up on the board. I told Larry, I said, I'm used to seeing 10. Now there's only 3. Come on, Larry. Larry's like, what do you want? I said, I want 2 more. Old Man Watt has actually been tirelessly working on lead generating. And I go over there now, and guess what? Old Man Watt is prospecting. And I think it's amazing and awesome. I hope you hear this, Old Man Watt. The truth of the matter is find a strategy that will work and you can do and you feel comfortable and do it. Just because no one else is doing it. Now, he did 50-some note cards. I hope he keeps writing 50-some note cards and start writing letters to people. I drove by your house. I seen your house is empty. I seen this. I seen that. Just expand on it because he's comfortable doing it, right? He can generate a lot of business doing that. So good job. Even though there's no numbers here, really good job. The princess, it looks like she got 1 new pending and 1 closing this week, which is awesome, awesome. Then we have JJ, just getting back from vacation. The squirter, JJ the racer. 1 new pending, 1 closing.
Nobody should be called that.
No one should be called that, she says. I can't believe she'd be offended, JJ. Jesus. How do you get this thing to move? 1 second. All right. Looks like I show up with 7 new pendings. I'll take that all day long. 7 new pendings, and I don't know how many new listings, but there should be up there too. And then I think I got two signings today at 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock. So Jay closed a big one in Morton, Washington, or actually Ashford, for Alex. And Alex thinks Jay's the bomb. He's like, that guy's awesome. And those were expired listings, right? Mm-hmm. We put them back on the market, same price.
Yep.
And sold them. You sold 2 of them, in a very short amount of time.
Yep.
Jay likes to drive anyways and likes mountain women, and so it worked out great. He's super happy. He's like, love it up there.
There should be 2 closings on there for me this week.
2, yeah. What was the other one?
Well, it's closing today.
Oh, good.
Well, it'll be on next week's.
Yeah.
No, I have another one.
Today?
It'll be on today.
Good.
Yeah, but it'll be on next week's.
Well, you're doing good.
All right.
Is the main thing.
It goes by whatever.
So Thursday to Thursday or whatever?
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
Wednesday.
I got you.
So, we're gonna go into a little speech. I don't. It didn't switch screens. Oh man, we're gonna go. How do I get that to play on my screen? Why did that not switch screens? Aren't we plugged into this?
It's not HDMI.
It's fast.
I can cast
Oh, it's where?
also here.
We're gonna go into the MLS this week. I always start this way, and Matrix, and then we're gonna talk about the stats. I know what you guys are seeing out there, but we're seeing out there is crazy, crazy numbers. So this should be on the last 7 days, which I can't see the screen. If you scroll up just a little bit, 7 days. Well, we had 63 new listings. 20 went back on the market. We actually closed 119. Can anyone tell me what that number is? That's twice. 63 new, 120 closed. That's twice. Price reduced 32. What's going on there?
Slowing down.
You're seeing those. And if you go through and look at the ones that are decreasing, you'll notice a pattern. Okay, I'll just say it's a pattern now because I'm going to help you folks out at home. Look at these. Look at these here. 17 increase though. We did expire to. One of those is actually mine. It's Dirty Thumb Nursery. 188 pendings. That's amazing. 8 cancels. I went through the cancels. There are some opportunity in cancels. We have very little expireds right now. We do have some cancels. Sometimes it's because they're mad at the realtor, and sometimes they have a change of heart or whatever it is. So the main point I'm trying to get at here is, listen guys, opportunity, the market's still hot and screaming. We're going to go through each of these. Multifamily next. And multifamily is 12, closed 16. It's beating. Their multifamily is really expensive right now. It's a good bet in the future if you got investors. There's brand new duplexes in Centralia on the market for $550, brand new duplexes. Well, a year ago, those brand new duplexes were maybe $400. They're $150,000 more expensive now. Go to the next one, which is Vacant Land. Look at this, 25 new listings. Now this is I check more counties than just 2 when I get into land and farms. But 24 sold. That's a crazy market. It's slowed down a little bit from the previous week, but we had a big event this week. Does anyone know what that was?
Election?
We had election. Last 7 days, we had election. We don't even know who the president is, right? Would the real president please step forward? All the jokers come forward. Okay, so commercial or farm? Farm was always, in and out. I mean, this is about normal for farm. Give me a commercial real quick. Commercial is one I want to talk about real quick. 44 new listings, 37 pendings. You see that number flip-flop, and you're going to see commercial continue to struggle a little bit because no one has confidence in commercial space, for office complexes, for buildings. Where prime lending is in Chehalis, Adam Holgate, who we do a lot of business with, his business, all those complexes came up for sale this week in Chehalis, a couple others. You're going to see commercial remain sluggish because if you go to the bank right now and get a loan on commercial, they're gonna like laugh at you. Okay, there's no confidence in that space, right? Hard. We have some commercial listings. I have commercial listings. Larry has commercial listings. I don't know if anyone else does, but I'm just saying that's gonna be our tough price market. Condos downtown Seattle, I mentioned 2 weeks ago, are still horrible. I showed a house yesterday to some Seattle folks who work for Microsoft. They said downtown Seattle's horrible. They want out. They're not happy. It's not working. It's not safe. And they said the vibe is gone. That you literally walk around and you feel horrible. Go to the Keeping Current Matters slides. I was going to do the stats, and I've decided not to. We've already had a debacle this morning. We're going to go right to Keeping Current Matters slides. Now, this is super important, and believe it or not, this video thing here is working out okay, and I got an assistant changing screens. We're up, high tech, everything's come back. Hey, we're going to go back just where you were. That was perfect. How you were, it was perfect. Whatever you were doing was perfect.
Right here?
The first screen.
The first screen.
Oh my gosh, hold on, I'm trying.
Undo.
Yeah.
Monthly market reports, right?
Yeah, and then go to the PDF version.
Right there.
Okay, so you're perfect. That's perfect. So now you just need to cast. We're going to get this. We're going to get through this morning meeting one way or the other. It might kill us, but we will get it. We're casting. Okay, now I'll just start scrolling to the first slide. And this is the first slide. We're going on vacation. This is the second slide. It's a shithole downtown. And we're still thinking, this is what the segment of the market is. That's a couple of ass cheeks right there. You can see that. This is the slough. That's where,
Okay.
the people that Donald's building a wall is for.
Right.
Okay, hey, here we go. Now we're going to scroll to the next slide. This one's exciting, but nothing on it really. Okay, this is important in only one regard, that the experts are right. The experts are almost never right. So when this thing happened, because it was just the servers and stuff and not the major people, they all said we're gonna drop and then we're gonna recover. So this was their predictions of what was gonna happen. If she goes to her next slide, this is what actually happened. Keep going a little bit. Stop. This is the actual recovery. So I hear it on the news, and I hear it on the news, and I hear it on the news, but last quarter we had the highest increase in gross domestic product ever. You guys know that, right? Right before the election, ever. I mean, it's crazy economically what's going on. So go down to the next one, next slide. So basically, the news is right now is creating scare, is creating panic. It's not clarifying, it's creating panic. And that's what that statement says. And we see that, right? And so more than ever, you need to be the agent that convinces people, calms them down, that reassures them. We're going to talk about buying into this upper price point here in a minute. We're going to talk about, how do you have those conversations with people. And everyone's terrified. If you go to YouTube, and if I was super techie, I would have my own self set up and I'd be opening screens and showing you. I can show you, and I've watched about 15 of them, why they think the housing market's going to crash in 2021. But as we keep going, I'm going to tell you why it's not going to crash and why they're wrong. And they're just fear mongers. Okay, next slide. Hey, fear sells though, right? Let me see. Downtown Chehalis is having a parade celebrating veterans versus downtown Chehalis is having a riot and they're throwing burning bags of shit through windows.
Right.
Which one sells more?
Right.
Burning bags of shit.
Speaking of riots,
Eddie announces the
yeah, get
Here's-
out and do some work and stop listening.
Here's the interesting things from April till now, to July 2020, the American credit score has gone up. Does anyone want to tell me why the American average FICO score has gone up?
paying off
Pay
their
debt.
debt. No spending.
Yeah, we've stopped spending as much. We got stimulus money, and Americans, you can stick around.
How long are you gonna whack on?
You got to meet our new insurance gal, Shavana.
Is she in there?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
All right, so it's increased because of these factors. I'm going to go fast. Next slide. But it's important to know that it has gone up, and here's why. 35% used the money to pay down their debt, right? 29% spent the money, 36% saved the money. So we had 70-some% either pay down or save the money. Perfect. This is a good side right here. So FICO score goes up. We have more equity in our homes. When the last crash happened in 2005-06, no one had equity in their homes. They spent it all. They took it all out. They bought boats. They bought bolt-on things, and they bought extra houses, right? So now what's happening is people are thinking ahead because we went through that, and we went through it recently enough that they remember it.
I understand all that noise, so I thought I'd come up with you.
So believe it or not, this is business applications for brand new businesses, so startup businesses. Does anyone see something interesting on this chart?
It's going up.
Spikes. Americans are like, oh, okay, maybe they got laid off from Delta, maybe they got laid off from the airlines, maybe they got laid off from the restaurant, maybe they're going to start their own business. You're going to entrepreneurial rise. Unbelievable. This is why we should believe in capitalism, by the way. Hard times come, Americans like, go start another business, make some more money, right? Now, unfortunately, most of those businesses will fail, but they're spending money, they're out, and they're optimistic, and they're doing things, right? The next slide. So here is a kind of a change in consumer spending. So Washington State, we actually started consuming more money because we had to buy more stuff to throw through more windows and more fire starter and kindling and stuff like that, bullets, ammunition. So we spent more money than pre-COVID. Everything else is this kind of calf scour color, says that they spent less than COVID. Now these guys really got conservative. Where do you think the conservatives live, right? Oh my God, South Dakota, have you met that governor? Dear God, why is she not our president? She's awesome. Alaska, really conservative. Alaska, I was just there. They shut down. The Eskimos are freaked out about pandemoniums and pandemics and pandemics. That's the word. And Hawaii, same thing. It's kind of interesting. We'll get into that later, maybe someday on a private talk. But you'll see the majority of America stayed, but we stayed within that 10% margin. This is super important. Weekly unemployment filings, right down here we got March 21. COVID hits, we hit on March 17th. They spike. Here we are. What's happening with unemployment?
Going back to work.
How many signs are around town looking for jobs? If you drive around Janison Trail, Olympia, signs everywhere. Help wanted, help wanted. You drive by the Great Wolf Lodge, you can't find an empty parking spot, and the sign's flashing, help wanted, please come in, apply now, come in, we're paying high now. Seriously, drive by the Great Wolf Lodge. It's right next to our office. Go next slide. So we're seeing unemployment remain very low. Another interesting, currently receiving unemployment benefits. From May, we have this, the world's falling, and now look, we've steadily decreased and we're at a low amount. 7.3% of Americans are receiving unemployment. Some of them used to work for me. Okay, next score. We just recently put some numbers on that board. Okay, so I didn't even know there was a society of business uncertainty. I'm thinking, what a shitty society. That's terrible. It says that business remains tepid, which means turbulent, which means crappy, which means stormy. Based on latest average projections, will take firms at least 4.5 years or something that says in there to get back to pre-COVID. I don't even think that's true. Bullcrap. Everyone I know is spending money, buying money, doing things, right? Okay, next slide. We're going fast, folks. I know, keep
That
up.
was probably from May when they projected that.
Number of mortgages actively in forbearance. Right to the bottom. Everyone said we're going to have a forbearance. Hey, I still got people calling me, asking me, I want some of these foreclosures that are coming up. There's no foreclosures coming up. Pull your head out of your backside. Go ahead, next slide. Here we go. Percentage overall forbearance decrease. We're in October. We're at 5.83. Very little, 6%. It's not a big number. Forbearance. Next slide. Hey, what mortgages rates were falling? This is the average, the total, right about here, 6%. Fannie Mae, Freddie, Ginnie. So these are all government programs, right? And it's just saying that some fail more than others. Doesn't really matter. We're about 6% forbearance. Going fast, I know, I'm sorry. This is an interesting slide. The main thing I want to say here is forbearance extended. So people were under forbearance. They said, hey, would you extend our mortgage? And they extended the mortgage, and that's how they dealt with the forbearance. So maybe it was a 20-year mortgage left to pay, and they said, would you extend it to 25? They did. That's how they dealt with the forbearance. It's dealt with. Removed while performing, paid off mortgage. So these either sold their house or did something, but they got caught back up. That's what this says. They got caught back up. So then expired, delinquent, and loss mitigation. They're working through it. This is Guido's going to their house, okay? Expired or delinquent, these guys, Guido's knocked on the door 2 or 3 times, and now they're waiting for that sucker to come back, right? This is the ones that are, so there's 80,000 homes that are really serious. You know what 80,000 homes is in the blink of 1.7 million homes owned in the U.S.?
Right.
It's a pimple that kind of irritates you when you put your underwear on. It's on your ass. Okay, next slide. The likelihood of us having a foreclosure crisis is about 0%. So when you're working with buyers, investors, and they say, hey, I think we're going to have a mortgage crisis, you say, not this time around. Okay, next slide.
Today, sir.
Not today. Month inventory across the United States of America remains all-time low, 2.7%. Why are we not going to have a housing crisis? Americans save more money. Why are we not going to have a housing crisis? Americans pay down their debt. Why are we not going to have a housing crisis? We have the lowest inventory of all time, right? Why are we not going to have a mortgage crisis? We have very few in forbearance. We have very few housing meltdown situations going on like we had last time. Keep going, next slide. Year-over-year change is basically just saying that we've got way off on listings. We're 35% off on listings. We are way off on listings. We have an inventory problem. Next slide. Okay, here's what people are saying. This is a Zillow report. You know everything on Zillow is accurate, right? I disagree with this report, and I'll tell you why in a second. Zillow report, 3 reasons homeowners are not putting their houses on the market. 1, they've never met me. 2, their financial uncertainty. Is it their financial uncertainty? The world's financial uncertainty? Just uncertainty, right? Life is too uncertain right now. I'm scared to go outside.
Media.
Yeah.
This is never mind.
Yeah.
COVID health concerns, right? So yeah, COVID's a little bit of a health concern. There is uncertain times. Well, how does this not make it? If I ask you guys right now today, why are people not listing their houses? You're going to tell me one thing: there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
They have to buy back into a hot market. This is a great, super great move-up market. And I'm going to just pause for half a second and tell you why it's the greatest move-up market of all time. Let's say that you own a $600,000 home and you have it on a 5% loan. right? Let's say that $600,000 home is now worth $750. You just made $150 grand because it's appreciated. You take that money, then you go buy into a very expensive home too. Maybe you're going up to $1 million or whatever. I'm thinking big move up, right? But you now have your equity plus the 150, your down payment, and then you borrow money at 3%, 2.8. So does everyone remember the 1% rule? For every 1% the interest changes, your 10% buying power. So on a $600,000 home, interest rate's off by 1%, that's 60 grand. Interest is off by 2%, that's 120 grand. You have $120,000 more buying power. So now you have 150 plus 120, we're gonna use simple math and call it 300. You just made $300,000 in the market, more or less, because you can buy that much more. So even though it's higher, does this make sense? That you're buying into a high market, your buying power is crazy. I bought the house across the street. I have a $213,000 mortgage. I paid $300,000. I have a $213,000 mortgage, and my house payment is $958.
Jeez.
So usually when I'm out with clients and they say, this house is $100,000, well, I figure $600 for every $100,000. If it's $200,000, that's $1,200. Well, that doesn't work anymore. So right now at this interest rates, it's $500. For every $100,000, you can figure about $500,000 payment, or $500 a month payment, right? So if you're looking at a $300,000 house, it's $1,500 a month. $400,000 house, you're $2,000 bucks a month. Well, I used to say $400,000 house, you know,
2,400.
yeah, $2,400. So the difference between $2,400 and $2,000, people can do. I have a $2,000 house payment, so I could go buy a big house, right? So think about it. Buying power, 1% rule. For every 1% interest rate changes, 10% on payment or your buying power. So if you went from 4.5 to 3.5, you could afford 10% more house. And if you're talking $300,000 houses, that's 30 grand, right? Buy up. It's a move up market. That was a quick explanation of a long story. Okay, go ahead, Miss Sammy. This is just working out beautiful. We should have done this to start with. They're all worried about how to move up to the next home and what to do, but it's a great move up market. Why are we not talking more about bridge loans? For God's sake, do not write contingent offers right now. Get your people connected with bridge loans. I thought Tim Morrison with Banner Bank was going to be a bridge loan guy. He couldn't get it done for Bill Thorpe. So I don't know if Tim's going to be the guy or not. I want to find a good bridge loan guy. I want to come bring him into the office, have bridge loan talk. I want all of us to know about bridge loans, and I want you to talk to your people that have houses. So, hey, we just do a bridge loan. Super simple. A bridge loan is simple. You own a house. We put a loan on it to bridge you over until you get to the new house. We sell this house. We buy this house, the bridge, and then we sell this house. We buy, then sell, then it wraps into one loan and you're done. And so you don't have to write contingent offers. You go out and write cash offers. You go out and write, I got the money offers, right? So bridge loans, we got to get to that. Next.
They're hard to find lenders that'll do them though.
I'm looking
Keep
for a
getting
lender.
shot down every time I ask for them.
I'm looking for a good bridge loan lender. If you know one out there, please
Devin
give.
said it's better to do a hard money loan than a bridge loan. You save thousands and thousands of dollars. So he set my guy up with a hard money loan.
What's a hard money loan?
Hard money loan is a private lender, someone who privately loans. If we could get old Earl to loosen up the wallet, he could be our hard money lender, but he
He
won't
makes good interest.
because he has no money. Just ask him. So hard money, who can do that? Hard money works like this. Normally they charge you a point up front. You borrow $100,000, they're going to charge you a point. A point is 1%. 1% is $1,000. They're going to charge you $1,000 to borrow the money. They're going to charge you 1% of the amount you borrow every month. That's 18% annualized income, or 12% if you haven't to look at it. But if you go APR, it's 18. So that's $1,000 a month payment. So interest only. So you pay $1,000. Some charge a point and a half. You pay $1,000. You pay $1,000 every month. If you have it 6
You should
months,
only do 2 months though, right?
if you let's say you had it 6 months, it would cost you $7,000. Well, the loan fees on a big loan is maybe $10,000. If you're going to do it 2 months, it's way cheaper. Just make sure there's no prepayment penalty. So they get 12% on their money. They don't have very low risk, short time, right? I have a couple of people in. I don't have my phone. My phone's on you. There's my phone. So if you look at my phone and say hard money and it come up, I save every hard money lender in my phone. And I'll tell you another trick. Pay attention. This is pro tip. Ready for a pro tip? every time I sell a house for an investor, I get on real estate, I scroll down and I see who the lender was, and half the time I call the lender or whatever. So I'm doing a house for an investor right now, and he's got this lending company, and I looked at all his other houses, and he keeps getting the money from this one source. So I'm calling that source because I want that source, because we know if we can get people money, and I need money too, you know, I like money. And so I want to know who that lender is, right? Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. Okay, this side, projection home prices appreciation. These guys have been to hippie camp and live in San Francisco or something. I don't know what's going on with these guys. Forget them. Oh, what? 1 second. 7% projected appreciation of homes. So if you have a $100,000 home, it goes up 7%. How much is your home worth? $107,000. Okay, if you have a $300,000 home, it goes up 7%. It's worth $321,000. What have we been seeing? Minimum 10, up to 20. Tax bills, I got, the guy called me the other day, his taxes went up 21%. So he had a $500,000 house, and they went up 21%. That's $100,000 and some. Went up 100 and some thousand, 21% is a lot of money. 20% is a lot of money. We are seeing across the state a minimum of 10. They say the average is 12. Lewis County was on 19% as an average. Jay's got the scores, he's got to go. Okay, next one.
Was it that time?
He's leaving. We're going to wrap this up. Mortgage rates. Here's the story, folks. Mortgage rates. We're at 3%, 2.8, whatever mortgage rates. This is 2020 right here. 2021, the number says 3.3%. It's a very interesting number. That means it's crept up. Is there a big difference between 3 and 3.3? 3 and 3. Please don't panic. The graph is going up, but don't panic. Don't let your people panic. A 3.3% mortgage rate is still an amazing mortgage. If you get 3.3, jump, run naked in the street, do something, celebrate, right? 3.6, still a great mortgage rate. 3.9, still a great mortgage rate. The mortgage rates are going to go up, but they're not going to go up that much. Now, it depends on who gets in presidency and all that stuff. Blah, blah. These are projected mortgage rates, and, you know, we still don't know. I mean, obviously, you know, we're voting for one, but, you know, whatever. So go ahead. The cheaters will be found. Housing Affordability Index. It's all about housing affordability and payment. You know, this is 2009 to 2005. I mean, horrible, right? I got that backwards. That 9 to 15. Sorry, 15. I mean, affordability was out the window. And then we went more affordable. But look, we're still more affordable than we've seen in recent history. Housing has gone up. House prices have gone up. We had that 1 year it was better, but we still have affordable housing, guys, because interest rates. That's what's driving this thing, and lack of inventory. Go ahead. I think we're almost done, by the way. Everyone hold on. It's good news that affordability remains significantly higher than 1 year ago, mostly due to the falling interest rates. 1 month does not make a trend, but a month's decline is affordability signals that the current dynamics producing faster house prices appreciation may begin to erode affordability gains. Hey, if we continue to appreciate at such a rate, we're going to erode affordability. We are growing, our housing is going up faster, and we just sold 4 houses on Chandler's, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and we marketed the 2 in the back at $20,000 more than the 2 in the front. I was out at Kai Howard's house at Lawrence Lake. I spent a bunch of time with the appraiser, and I says, tell me how you're doing this. I ask a lot of how questions, right? You know that, I'm like a little kid, why? So I says, as appraisers, what are you guys seeing? How much are you allowing for appreciation? Because if an appraiser never allowed for appreciation, we would never have an upward trending market, right? Only if it had cash transactions. So I said, so what's the tolerance? You know what she told me? 1% a month. $500,000 house appreciates 1%, $5,000. Next month, $500,000 house appreciates $5,500. Next month, $500,000 house appreciates $6,000. You know what I mean? It's going up. So she allows 1% a month. Compound interest too, by the way. Go ahead. We got brand new seller guides. Just saying, Maddie ordered them yesterday. She got my credit card. I'm hoping that's what she ordered. And lots of resources. Stay right here for a second. super amount, a lot of resources on KCM. Every North Fork Realty member can have all these slides. You can use any of them. You can put them in your presentations. You can take them with, if you have a nervous Nelly buyer, you have a nervous Nelly seller, you have someone that is on the fence about buying or selling, find a slide. They don't believe you because you're a salesperson. I'm not calling you slimy, but that's what the way they perceive us. I'm telling you, take a neutral third party. Like, here's the data, right? Remember, we got emotional brain. I love this house, I should buy it. We have analytical brain. This doesn't make sense. The price is too high. And we have logic. And our job is to make them clear. So lots of resources here. Sorry, the video didn't work out. Sammy's gonna send us an uploaded link to everyone out there. We're gonna get this right someday. Ryan's gonna do his way someday. We're gonna be on Zoom someday. We're gonna take care of it, I promise. And the show goes on. The show goes on, right? We're not gonna let up. So we'll see you link. We'll see you next week. Have a great week in real estate. North Fork out.